Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book, Networking Like a Pro and EverydaySuccessHabits.com. Now, I am fired up because we are going to talk about one of what I call my secret ingredients to getting stuff done and quite frankly, being more successful. You know, a lot of times, whether you are a business owner looking to get more clients, maybe you're an aspiring business owner, so you're in the JOB right now, you're looking to maybe start your own thing, or maybe you are an individual in an organization or doing some leadership stuff and just want to be more successful over there. And I think you're going to find if you fall into any one of those three groups that what I have to say today is absolutely going to make a world of difference. Because if you start doing what I'm going to be talking about, you'll find that your life will be easier, you'll be more productive, you'll be less stressed. And quite frankly, if you don't, you're going to find that the stress and the overwhelm and stuff like that, it's just going to kind of keep going, and you're always going to feel like you're not getting as much done and much accomplished as you want. And obviously, we don't want you to feel that way. I don't want you to feel that way. And this is something that is super, super easy to do. And it is something that Brian Tracy actually first brought to my attention, which is a conversation around time blocking. Okay. And more specifically, what Deb likes to call a power hour. So let me kind of unpack this a little bit. First of all, you have to understand that you're not going to get every single thing done. All right. So let me stop you, like hard stop right there. Success is not a conversation of getting everything done. That's the first lesson towards being more successful. You're not going to get everything done. You've heard of the 80-20 rule, sometimes called the Pareto principle. And what that means is that 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of your efforts. The problem is people don't take the time to figure out what and where they want to go, so that they just spend all of their time kind of all over the place and they don't know where 80% of the results are going to come. All right, so understand that right off the bat. Now, assuming that you have a game plan and assuming that it's aligned with where you want to go from a mindset standpoint, now we can start talking about being more productive. All right, what are we looking at exactly? Well, first of all, what I like to do is, this is where Brian Tracy comes in. He talks about, I want to say it's under the psychology of achievement. He talks about this idea of you want to have a golden hour. All right when you get up. Now, for me, when you get to work, not necessarily right when you get up because you want to do a morning routine first, but like when you get to work, you get to the office, when you're getting into business mode, you want to have 30 minutes, I'm sure he'll negotiate with you on, but 60 minutes, I personally do 90 minutes if I can, where I am working on my high priority item right off the back, my high impact, my high priority item. So back to that 80-20 rule, this is something that's going to have a high degree of success. It's part of the 20% of my work that will give me 80% of my results. Okay, that's the first thing I do. So for me today, what I was working on, I'm actually doing I got contracted and hired to do a leadership program for some folks down. It's an association down in Florida. Okay, and they're having me do their leadership program. I'm actually creating a program. It's for their graduates who went into an initial program. So I had to make sure that I understood what they did the first time around. And this is kind of like a leadership 2.0 conversation. All right, and they want me to create it and then to do it, which is fine. It's great. I appreciate it. So what I did was, that was a priority. I have a meeting with the woman who I'm working with today, and it was a priority. It was my first item, the first 3 out of the last 5 days, maybe 3 out of the last 4. I'm not looking at my calendar right now, but let's say conservatively 3 out of the last 5. That was what I spent the first hour and a half of my day on. Now, the reason I tell you this is because after that, I was like, okay, I got that done. You know, my mental energy for that project was done. So a lot of times people think, oh, well, to be successful, you just have to keep working on something until you beat it to submission. That's not been my experience. Okay. You keep working on something, obviously, on a regular basis until it's done, but you don't have to beat it to submission. So what you're doing is the first 90 minutes, I think the first day I did it for like 2.5 hours because I really wanted to get off to a good start, but whatever. And then what I did was after that, took a little break, and then I worked on another project for about an hour, maybe 70 minutes or something like that. Now, this is where we get into the blocking, the time blocking. So if you have your first, let's say 90 minutes or 2 hours or whatever, I worked on this Leadership 2.0. I took a little bit of a break, let the dogs out, relaxed, came back, did another project for about an hour. I don't remember what that was. Probably something to do with my Facebook ads, because that's also a priority as well. So I don't know exactly, but I'm sure it was something related to that. Then I took another break, and then caught up on some email and did some stuff on social and, did some comments in my groups, and that was it. And you're like, Brian, that's only like 5 or 6 hours, 4 or 5 hours or something like that. And yeah, you're right. You're right. And you're like, Brian, I didn't hear you working with any clients that day. For that particular day, no, I didn't. The other thing I do, time blocking can be in the course of a day, and it could also be in the course of a week. I usually make it so that on Mondays, I don't see a lot of clients, if any. That's me. Okay. So in this particular day, it was, I guess it was a Monday. I didn't have to do that. Okay. Now, on the days when I do have clients or whatever, I still make sure I get in my 60 minutes. I'm an early morning person, so I'll get up and I'll be at my desk by 6:30, 7 o'clock, and like after my morning routine and whatnot. So I'm doing, even before I have my first client, because I do some work out in the UK, which is 5 hours ahead of where I am, in Raleigh, Raleigh, North Carolina area. So it's 5 hours ahead. So I can, even my earliest client might be 8:30, 8:45, but usually it's 9. Okay. So I can get a good 2 hours in right off the bat. Right off the bat. And I make sure that it's in the area that gets me 80% of my results. All right. So people ask me, they're like, Brian, what's like an everyday success habit that can help me be productive and to help me move forward? That's it right there. Number one, let's first of all look at our time and our day in terms of different blocks of time. I look at it as almost 3, sometimes 4 blocks. The initial golden hour that Brian Tracy talks about, the trailing hour, which is still fine, and then kind of like tying up loose ends, and then maybe doing some client work or whatever, or going to work out. I'm going to work out in about 3 minutes. I'm doing my upper body weights today. I'm looking at the weights. They're right there. I'm going to be doing that. Okay. So it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to be this grind, all the time kind of thing. You know what I mean? I mean, I like the term rise and grind. Like, I like that because in my mind, that's get up, get ready, and get after it. But it's not rise and grind and grind and grind and grind until you have stomach ulcers, hypertension, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, early onset of heart attack symptoms. I mean, I'm laughing. It's not funny, but you get the idea. It's not that. Okay, so what is it that's my everyday success habit? It's time blocking. How do I put that into my day? First hour is like a power hour like Deb likes to talk about. Second hour might be something else. I'm also working on third hour or 90 minutes. I'm cleaning up, and that's a half a day's worth of work. I put in some client work in there as well. I put in some client calls and some other stuff as well. And then that's it. Like, I have said this. Remember the old Army commercials? I don't know if you remember this. We do more by 8 o'clock a.m. than most people do in their whole day. I actually think that's me. I think I do maybe not more than 8 o'clock, but I actually think I do more than 10, 11 o'clock in the morning than most people do all day in terms of actual production. Now, I'm not, there's a lot of busy, and but I'm not like that. I'm focused. I'm productive. John Lee Dumas talked about this. I was listening to a podcast of him. Successful entrepreneurs are focused. They're productive. They get stuff done. Okay. So that's kind of how I do it to move myself forward. All right. So anyway, quick, simple thing. Do yourself a favor. Start implementing a power hour first thing. And if that's all you have, that's fine. Okay, if you're an aspiring entrepreneur and you only have 30 minutes because you got to get to work, or whatever, client of ours, he does that. He works sometimes at night, then sometimes during the day, sometimes in the morning. He'll get up and he'll do a 30, 60 minutes beforehand. Get in the habit of getting stuff done. All right, let me say that again. Get in the habit of getting stuff done. It's a culture. It's a mindset. And ultimately, it helps you get to where you want to go. And if you're able to make that an everyday success habit, I think you will absolutely find yourself being more successful. Now, as always, feel free to swing on by our website. That is at everydaysuccesshabits.com. Okay, you can find me there. If you want to like, share, or comment, or put something below, I'd love to hear from you. If you have a thought, question, or idea, I actually handle idea. I don't know about the idea part. I guess if you have an idea, that's fine, but definitely thought or question. Love to hear about it. And I answer all comments personally, so if you have something, I would love to hear it. But in the meantime, my name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.